Hi, I'm Alan Aitken. For the past 4 decades, I've been working in horse racing as a journalist and a form analyst, and I love getting down into the details of what decides a race. In most races, there is a single factor that will decide the race, what we might call the winning factor. Now that winning factor, it might be the pace, the ride a jockey gives a horse, the luck of the draw, the statistics from the stable, could be any number of things. Most of us are pretty good at working out after the event what was the winning factor, but here on this show we're going to try each week to find out what the winning factor is going to be ahead of time so we can profit from it. Well, Sunday at Sha Tin is our opening day of the new season with the traditional feature opening race, the Hong Kong SAR Chief Executives Cup. This is the race we're going to look at first today, our winning factor, the handicaps. Now obviously the handicaps are the weights that horses carry to bring the better performed horses back to the lesser horses. However, if we look at the graphics of the past results of the Chief Executives Cup, you'll see that only 4 winners in the entire history of the race out of 21 runnings have carried more than 122 pounds. So that suggests, and history backs up, that this is a race for horses on the fringe of stardom, not quite there yet, and this is their opportunity to shine. So let's have a look at the field now for the Hong Kong Chief Executives Cup. Southern Legend, our top weight, the Cranji Mile winner with 133 pounds to carry. Winner's Way, Zac Purton's mount, 130 pounds. Born in China, Douglas White's mount, 123 pounds. And then we go to the horses down on the bottom of the weights. Fabulous One, 113 pounds, last year's runner-up in the race. Jumbo Luck, 113 pounds. California Fortune, 113 pounds. And Wishful Thinker, 113 pounds, right down the bottom. Now the horse I want to highlight here is Jumbo Luck. After the claim for Keith Yung, he'll carry just 111 pounds in this race, which is an incredible winning factor for him. Now at times on this show you'll hear me talk about my ratings. Now these are my own personal performance ratings. They are not linked or connected in any way with the handicappers' ratings or with other ratings that you might see around. They're my own performance ratings, and we use them to compare one horse to another and to the weights that they carry. Now in this particular race, the best rating I have for Jumbo Luck is a 94. He needs only to rate 90 to win this race. Now you contrast that with the horses up the top of the weights, Winner's Way and Southern Legend, both of whom need to improve a little bit on anything they've ever done if they are to win this race. So that gives Jumbo Luck the advantage. In addition, he has that winning factor of the weight, but he also has a map that's going to help him. And we're going to have a look at some of his past runs just to outline what advantage he's going to get from that. The one we're going to look at first is from Happy Valley at the end of last season, his final run of the term, when he finished 5th. But as we'll see on this piece of video, he had to work quite hard through the middle stages and early stages to get across with a big weight where it was a competitive lead. He didn't have much left at the finish and weakened out. Next, we're going to have a look at his run 2 starts ago, which was a winning run. But on this occasion, he also had to do plenty of work in the run. You'll see that he and the other leader break away before the home turn. So it's no surprise that he was gassed at the finish, but he still managed to hang on when another horse came at him late. That was a particularly good win. And here's the clincher. We go back 3 starts ago to the last time that Jumbo Luck was able to sit behind with a lightweight, relax in the run, and be the horse running at other horses instead of being the target. This was down the straight, and watch what happens here. When he lets go, he just goes whoosh. So if we look at the map for the Chief Executives Cup, it looks pretty straightforward. Fabulous One is a horse who likes to be out in front, a regular leader, and he's a fast horse who can easily get there. So I expect him to lead. California Fortune and Jumbo Luck will drop in behind him. And I think from that position, able to relax and chase a leader, I think that the winning factor for Jumbo Luck will be his handicap weight. The second race we're going to look at today is the Way Handicap, Class 4, over 1200 metres, and our winning factor here is the stable change. And in this race, 3 of the 13 runners have had a change of trainers since they last raced. So let's look down the field here and highlight the runners who've had a change of trainer. First of all, we have the Creative, who's gone from Michael Friedman to John Moore. Peace and Prosperity, who's gone from Manfred Mann to Jimmy Ting. And thirdly, the horse having his first start for Tony Millard, Harbour Century, formerly with Paul O'Sullivan. Now, stable changes are a regular and frequent part of a horse's career in Hong Kong, as any Hong Kong horse racing fan will know. But they're also a very potent winning factor, especially if you're talking about the right stables. Now, the graphic on screen shows you the records of our top 3 stable change trainers over the past 14 years. Tony Millard, Tony Cruz and Casper Founds. This first table shows the result for all stable changes going into their yards and their strike rates. However, if we concentrate on just the horses who are expected to run well, the horses that have barrier trialled well, worked well and are well in commission in the betting, that is, horses $11 or under, that strike rate becomes phenomenal. Tony Millard has a 36% plus strike rate with first-time runners from other stables when the horse is in the market. And I expect Harbour Century is going to be in the market here. First of all, he has the rating. His peak rating for me last season was 81. He requires a 77 to win this, and if you compare him, say, with an obvious danger like King Opie, he was also an 81 horse last season. He will need to at least match that to win the race this time. So we're looking at a well-handicapped horse, but I think he'll also be in the market, Harbour Century, on the basis of his recent barrier trial. He jumped to the front in a 4-horse trial on the dirt at Sha Tin, led all the way, and that was a little bit in contrast to what we've seen of him before, getting back in the field and running on, but it was a slowly run trial. Nevertheless, it was the kind of trial that convinced you this is a horse who is well, he's healthy, and he's ready to win a race. Now let's have a look at a couple of his replays from last season. We're going to look first of all at Harbour Century's debut. On this occasion, he got a long way back in the slowly run race and finished very strongly over the final stages, despite that pace of the race being against him. And he was beaten just over 2 lengths behind the very smart Super Missile. Now, Harbour Century's next 2 runs were fairly similar to that, getting to the line late. And then he had a 3-month break, which suggested maybe not all was well with him. And there's a lot in his last start of last season that also suggested he might not have been quite right. If we look here at the 700 metre mark, Harbour Century gets a check, but it's of his own doing. He was hanging, he was running into other horses, and that's usually a sign that a horse is feeling some pain somewhere and not quite right. Nevertheless, once he got himself going again in the straight, he did make up a little bit of ground, but I don't think we saw the real Harbour Century there. On the basis of his trial and Tony Millard's outstanding record with these horses changing yards into his stable, I think we're going to see the right Harbour Century on Sunday. Don't read too much into the fact he led that barrier trial. That was only because there was no pace in the race. Under race conditions, I think you'll find he's no better than midfield on Sunday. But there's good speed in the race off the map, and I think that'll give him his chance to run on over the top of the leaders. So the winning factor is the stable change, and our horse, Harbour Century. So that's it for the winning factor this week. Good luck on opening day, and we'll see you next week for more of the winning factor.